Back here on Extra Points. Remember, join us every weekday from 3:30 to 4 o'clock here on WTAJ Plus. Noah Hiles from the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Follow him at _ Noah Hiles on the artist formerly known as Twitter. Noah, we appreciate you coming on. The Pirates, since we last had you on about 2 weeks ago, the Pirates have been really good, really bad, and downright awful. Does that sum it up?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, conversation
kind of been their
over.
Season. Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say that's kind of been their season. There have been some good moments, but then those good moments are often followed or preceded by just the worst baseball that you could imagine. And it's been interesting to document.
Well, how do we comprehend what happened in Seattle after they had won 6 games in a row, coming off a 3-game sweep in which they shut out the Cardinals in every game, and then they go to Seattle and get shut out in every game?
I mean, I think it's worth looking at who they beat in that 6-game win streak first. I mean, the Mets and the Cardinals were both entering those series playing really bad baseball. That's not to take anything away from the Pirates. I mean, the Pirates won those games, and they look good in those games. But they ran into teams playing poorly, and they capitalized. The Mariners, meanwhile, I mean, they have a lot to play for. They're playing at home. The Pirates are really bad on the road. I think they've only won like 12 road games this year, and we're into the second week of July now, so that's not good. You get into that, and then you add on to the fact that the Mariners have a really good pitching staff. The Pirates' offense is inconsistent, and this is what happens. They get shut out in the first game. They're in a 1-0 tight game in the second game, and they're pressing, and then they feel all the pressure on Sunday, and it results in a scoreless sweep. The first time that's happened to the Pirates since 1888 when they were the Pittsburgh Alleghenies.
That's some incredible history there. You mentioned about them being bad on the road, and I was trying to look it up here while you were talking. I mean, they're 26-21 at home, 12-33 on the road. How do you explain such a gap between home record and away record?
Well, I mean, the home record's a lot better under Don Kelly. I believe they're 19-9 at home under Kelly. So, I mean, they weren't that great at home under Shelton. It's just, since Kelly took over, they played better in their home ballpark. I don't know if it's just scheduling or if it's just they sleep better in their own beds. Whatever the case is, they've got to figure it out because, I mean, if they played at that pace that they played at home, that's a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's a winning percentage above 500. That's good. But they're like the Colorado Rockies on the road, which will be interesting because they actually play the Rockies on the road at the end of this month. So I don't know how to explain it. I think they've ran into a little bit of weird scheduling, but I mean, some of the teams they've lost to on the road are not that good. So I really don't know.
Leave the Rockies out of this, sir. They have families too.
No.
Now, obviously, some big news out of Pittsburgh today. O'Neal Cruz will be in the home run derby. I believe he's the first Pirate to be in the home run derby since Josh Bell in 2019. Yeah. I'm just curious, how does it's pretty much a batting practice competition. How does O'Neal Cruz look in batting practice?
Unlike anything I've ever seen. I mean, he is far from a perfect ball player. He's got a lot of flaws to his everyday game. In batting practice, I think he might be one of the best, if not the best, in the sport. I remember a couple weeks ago in Milwaukee, in back-to-back swings, he hit one ball off of a truck that's like posted up in deep center field. That's got to be at least 480 feet. And then he hit the Jumbotron afterward, in the next pitch, which was even further than that truck along the right field line. He's going to put on a show. I'm concerned maybe as to what his preparation for this process might do to his actual hitting approach in the second half when those games start. But I mean, at this point in the season, I mean, they're in last place. This is cool. I'm excited to watch it. I mean, this is a guy I think can put on a really, really big show.
Well, you mentioned about messing up his swing or something, and we've heard this for years about guys
Yeah.
going through the home run derby and having a terrible swing coming out of it. But like, can it be much worse for O'Neal Cruz? I mean, he's nowhere near living up to the expectation of what he should be doing at the plate. He's barely a 200 hitter. Can it really get? Is there anything to mess up? I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think right now his big issue is pitch selection. It's not, I mean, the swing mechanically, I think, is pretty good. So if you tinker with that to just be able to swing and start up quickly because of the new format where you're not just getting 10 swings, you're trying to hit as many home runs as you can in a certain amount of time. That can, when you start rushing things and you're messing with your timing, even in your approach and the way you load your swing and everything, there's a good chance you can mess something up there. So
What if
that
it
could be a
fixes
problem.
him?
I mean, hey, that'd be great, right? Then the Pirates should hope he's in the home run derby every year.
Now, I want to go back to Paul Skeens for a little bit. I mean, like, it seems like every time he goes on the mound, he's doing something unreal in a no decision or a 1-0 loss. I mean, like, the 1.94 ERA and a 4-7 record, it truly seems almost impossible.
Yeah. I mean, if there's anything that that tells the story of this season, I think it's Paul Skeens' stat line. Because Paul Skeens is the greatest representation of the best area of this team, which is pitching. The pitching has been great. The bullpen has been great. The starting rotation has been great. And Paul Skeens is obviously, I mean, he's the best pitcher on the planet. And it just goes to show that none of it matters if you can't score runs. His numbers are the best in Major League Baseball in so many different areas. But if you can't score runs, it doesn't matter. This team's been shut out 13 times. 4 of those 13 shutouts have come when Paul Skeens is on the mound. And 2 of those 4 shutouts were 1-0 losses, which means only one mistake was made by the entire pitching staff. Sometimes not even Skeens. But they can't win when he's at his best. And that's a problem. So that's how it happens. It shouldn't happen. No pitcher of his caliber should ever be in a spot where he feels like he needs to allow no runs in order to have a chance of winning. And even then, he's had multiple shutout outings since May 28th, his last win, and he doesn't get the win. Sometimes the Pirates win, but they're in a no decision spot by the time he's pulled from the game. It's a mess, and I'm sure it's something that's very frustrating for Paul.
We're punching the boxes here as we talk with Noah Hiles of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. You can follow him on Twitter or X at @_Noah Hiles. You wrote an article over the weekend about the trade deadline. We know McCutchen, we know Skeens. Those guys are off limits, as we've seen reporting on. What do you think is a realistic change? What are realistic moves that you could see the Pirates here making over the next month?
Oh, I mean, I think that Mitch Keller has a very strong chance of being moved. Ke'Bryan Hayes has a decent chance of being moved. Bednar, Santana are 2 guys that I think could be on their way out. And those are all 4 controllable assets, guys that have another year in Pittsburgh, if not more. And you pair that with all of the rental guys who are probably going to be gone. And not probably, who will be gone. IKF at shortstop, or Caleb Ferguson, Andrew Heaney, Tommy Pham, Adam Frazier. I mean, you're losing a lot of veterans off the team. I don't think you'll get a ton in return for any of them, but Mitch Keller could generate a nice return. Ke'Bryan Hayes, if packaged with a reliever like Santana or Bednar, could generate a nice little return. So they've got some interesting trade chips.
Now, we know the clock is literally ticking on Paul Skeens and for his service time until he becomes a free agent. What would, though, trading someone like Mitch Keller kind of signal? Because it doesn't appear that they're trying to go all in while they have Skeens until he inevitably leaves.
I mean, that's baseball. I think that, like, when you look at how this team is structured economically, it might not make sense to have someone like Keller, who's going to be maybe their number 3 starter next year, making more than the rest of the pitching rotation combined. I think that it's just smarter, unless you're going to, I mean, the easy answer is just spend money and add more to the payroll. But if your payroll is going to be around 100 million, your highest paid player needs to be one of your best. And Keller's good, but he's not the best at his position on this team. And next year, he might not even be in the top 3. So I think what it signals is they're trying to get the most out of their money. And so if they move him, what you would hope to get in return is a young, controllable bat for multiple years. And then you go into this offseason and you use the money that you're going to pay Mitch Keller on a hitter. So essentially, you flipped a veteran pitcher for 2 everyday players in the field who can make your lineup better. And a lot of people on this team believe they're just 2 or 3 bats away from being competitive. So if that meant Mitch Keller moving in order for them to get those bats, then that might be something they're willing to accept.
I think every team in baseball is 2 or 3 bats away from being a playoff team.
No, I agree.
You mentioned Tommy Pham there, though, one of the rental players. What an interesting story he's had. You were writing about this. I think it was last week. It's why I wanted to try to grab you last week, but just couldn't make it work. He can see now, and I don't even literally mean he's making the right pitch selection, but he was dealing with an eye prescription issue that really kept him from seeing the ball properly, and now he's actually playing at the level of which they expected.
Yeah, it's an interesting story. I mean, this is something Tommy's dealt with his entire life. He's talked about how there have been other athletes' doctors reaching out to his doctors. He's kind of like the guinea pig in a way with how he's handling. He has a very unique eye condition that I'm not even going to try to explain in depth because I'm not an eye doctor. But the way he kind of laid it out to us is that he had an issue with his prescription. He could see perfectly fine in the field, but at the plate, he was having trouble picking up the ball. He was changing his prescription often throughout the first couple of months of this season, and he finally started to get it right in mid-June. And you look at his production since that time, he's been a much better player.
Okay, we go to our trivia. Before we let you go, we always have a trivia question we try to for our guests. Our trivia question today, Noah. O'Neill Cruz is the 7th Pirate in the home run derby all time, but who has hit the most home runs for a Pirate in the home run derby?
I believe that would be Pedro Alvarez.
It is not. It was Josh Bell who hit 18 in 2019.
Oh, yeah, you know what? That's right. I even covered that. That's embarrassing.
You know what's also embarrassing? Do you know how many home runs Barry Bonds hit in a home run derby as a Pittsburgh Pirate?
How many?
2.
I mean, Jason Bay hit 0. So.
Well, there was Bobby Bonilla hit 0 too. There's a long history of Pirates not doing well in the home run derby.
The format was so much different back then, though. Like, especially in the 90s, it was so much different compared to what Bay did. I mean, Bay, that was embarrassing. But, I mean, there's been a lot of that going around for this org, so.
He's Noah Hiles of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. He covers the Pirates on a daily. You can follow him on social media @_Noah Hiles on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. Noah, we always appreciate you joining. We got a very colorful Noah Hiles today. I loved it.
Yeah. Try to bring the energy. Thanks for having me on.
We appreciate it, Noah.